Okay, finally, after all these years of waiting, I decided to make this video. I really have been planning to make this basically ever since this death battle came out. The new Mario vs. Sonic death battle is one I disagree with a 5 out of 5. I really think that this battle is just wrong. Completely. I'm actually kind of glad I waited this long to make this video, because with each death battle that they had ever since this one, it just seemed to prove my point more and more. You'll see what I'm getting at later on in the video. The fact of the matter is, he just wouldn't beat Sonic, and I have known this ever since the first death battle. Yes, they didn't do their research the same way, but even with their new updated research, Sonic would still win. Hands down. It's not even a contest. I could sum up what's wrong with this death battle in a few sentences. That would be, every feat that Mario was given was just basically assumed to be correct and hyped up to the highest possibility. While for Sonic, he basically had to prove his feats 3 times over and was still given the lowest amount of each feat. They really downplayed Sonic and misrepresented him completely. The first thing I want to talk about is the battle animation, since that's the least important of this topic. Well, it was really good. It looked really nice. The animation was smooth. It lasted a decent amount of time. There was enough action. And it was pretty funny. But I still have a problem with it. What problem would that be? Well, the way Sonic was represented. Basically, the way Sonic looked in this battle was as if Boom Knuckles was describing him. No, seriously. Go look at one of the stories Knuckles made up in the Boom series about Sonic, and then watch this death battle. You'll see in a few scenarios Sonic is flailing his arms like he doesn't know how to fight, and he also gets scared way too often. First, when Mario throws the fireballs, Sonic seems to be having a hard time dodging them, despite dodging bullets in his series quite easily. But he's having a hard time dodging Mario's fireballs because why? And then with the Burst Wisp, he just rams into Mario, but the burst is able to make explosions, so why would he just dash forwards? And then why would he get scared of Mario flying at him once he grabs a catsuit? Sonic is just dashing forwards, and then once he sees Cat Mario, for some reason he stops in place and then just gets knocked out of burst. It doesn't happen, by the way. When you take damage as a Wisp, you'll still stay in the Wisp mode. But he still gets knocked out of it for some reason. Although I gotta admit, this next scene where Mario gets a whole bunch of double cherries and starts storming Sonic with a whole bunch of Cat Marios is really funny and it just looks good. It's a good clip. But Sonic looking discouraged after seeing all these freaking Marios is ridiculous. Sonic would not get intimidated by a whole bunch of Marios running towards him. Look at this scene in Sonic and the Black Knight. This is the opening. Sonic is met with a whole bunch of creatures from the underworld, and yet he is not intimidated at all. He literally just runs past them at supersonic speeds and wipes them all out. He also is met with a whole bunch of enemies in the opening of Sonic Unleashed, but Sonic knows Eggman by now, so that could be a reason why he's not intimidated by Eggman's forces. But these are enemies he's never met before, so that proves that just because he sees Mario running at him with a whole bunch of copies of himself, he's not going to get intimidated. And considering the fact that the double cherry disappears after one hit, Sonic could quite literally do exactly what he did in Sonic and the Black Knight. Just run past him and they would all die. He would not need to activate Supersonic, or he would not need to activate Hypersonic to defeat them. But after he does activate Hypersonic, he just sits there and slowly takes out the enemies for some reason, leaving Mario enough time to take out a star. But even if Mario was able to get out a star in time, that doesn't mean in this next scene Sonic should be throwing punches at him like he doesn't know how to frickin' fight anymore. He looks like a little kid trying to swing at a bully who's holding him up. And then the two fly into space, which is kind of weird because none of Mario's power-ups would be able to do that. All of his flying power-ups basically fly in a straight path besides the red star power-up. But it doesn't matter that much. There's nothing really wrong with it. And it looks cool that both of them fighting in space. But then after that, they run out of their power-ups and start plummeting to the earth. Sonic decides to take an advantage of this and start attacking Mario. Or should I say he tries to attack Mario. He once again starts throwing his fist randomly through the air with his eyes closed, acting like he doesn't know what the heck he's doing or very afraid of fighting a creature in the dark or something. I don't know, it just looks weird. Like, this isn't Sonic. Sonic would not fight like this. When has Sonic ever fought like this? It doesn't make any sense to me. They literally make him look like a coward. Like, this is how Luigi fights. Like, are you kidding me? Right after that, Mario throws Sonic into the frickin' ocean and he explodes. And Mario comes out victorious. Another cool scene. It's just too bad that the whole entire episode was just Sonic acting like a frickin' dummy. Like, this did not represent Sonic well at all. He's basically just a coward who doesn't know how to fight. But as Death Battle stated many times in the Death Battle cast, the fight itself does not matter. This doesn't determine the winner, the analysis does. But that's flawed too. I will first start with the power-ups since they supposedly didn't play too much in the end result, considering the fact that both Mario and Sonic's power-ups countered each other. Although ultimately, Mario was given the upper hand in the power-up department because he was considered to have more power-ups. I find this somewhat untrue. Yes, Mario does have more quantity of power-ups, considering that's the main focus of all of his games, while Sonic mostly has his power-ups as a side note. But Mario's power-ups lack a lot of quality and uniqueness between them all. Not to mention they weren't very specific in which power-ups they were gonna count in the battle. They made it seem like they were only counting power-ups that they could carry with them, and yet they still made arguments for power-ups that Mario realistically wouldn't obtain unless under very specific circumstances. If you take a look at this chart right here, I mapped down basically all the power-ups that both of them could carry into battle, and then wrote down power-ups that they can't carry into battle. You can see that Sonic basically has no items that he's not able to equip with him, while Mario has a ton. And some of the ones that are in the carrying department are some that he can only carry one of. Unless you were assuming that he could carry an endless supply of any power-ups despite not coming from a game where he's able to carry an endless supply of power-ups. But if you were doing that, you would have to do the same for Sonic, since there are games where Sonic can carry multiple versions of one power-up. Therefore, any power-up he has in any of his games should be allowed multiple uses of. Some of these powers that Mario can't carry include the Timer, the Double Cherry, the Bee Mushroom, the Boo Mushroom, the Red Star, the Cloud Flower, the Golden Leaf, the Wing Cap, the Metal Cap, the Invisible Cap, and a few others. Even if we do look at the ones that Mario can carry with him, like I said, a lot of them lack in uniqueness between each other. Like the Ice Flower and Frog Suit are basically both just weaker versions of the Penguin Suit, so they wouldn't add any additional quality to Mario's arsenal. Think back to Ryu Hayabusa versus Strider. Ryu had a large variety of weapons, but none of them could actually stand up to Strider's plasma sword, so they were basically useless in the result, and this is no different. Like, all these flying power-ups are completely redundant. Only one of them would realistically give Mario an upper hand, especially if we assume that all these flying powers actually make Mario fly and are not just limited to the movements that they have in the game. What benefit would Mario have from equipping the helicopter suit rather than equipping the cape feather? The cape feather can reflect projectiles and cause earthquakes on a down dive, so why would Mario ever use the helicopter? And another thing to factor in is some of these powers won't even help Mario fight against Sonic anyways. I already said the Ice Flower and Frog Suit were basically weaker versions of the Penguin Suit, but the Penguin Suit wouldn't help Mario fight against Sonic anyways, unless they were specifically in water. But even then, Sonic has a power-up to counter that out. The slide could easily be countered by Sonic's Spin Dash. An ice ball travels so slow and goes such a short distance that Sonic would almost never get hit by it. Not to mention, even if it did hit him, he would only be frozen for half a second, since only smaller enemies are frozen by this for long periods of time. So the Penguin Suit is basically completely useless against him. There would never be a reason for Mario to use this to get advantage over Sonic. And certain powers that they said would just counter each other out wouldn't actually do that. The Fire Flower and Fire Shield wouldn't cancel each other out. Sonic's would trump Mario's Fire Flower, because Sonic's Fire Shield not only prevents resistance against fire, but also allows him to use a fiery attack, while Mario's only grants him a fiery attack, but provides no resistance against fire. Therefore, Sonic's Fire Shield wins in the battle. In fact, it's very possible that all of Mario's projectiles can be countered by any of Sonic's shields, since in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, normal bullets will just bounce off of Sonic's shields. This would make the Boomerang Suit useless, the Hammer Suit useless, and any other power that grants Mario a projectile to use. And for their argument about Mario just being able to turn Sonic into gold with the Gold Flower, that just doesn't make any sense. The Gold Flower turns blocks into gold. It doesn't turn enemies into gold, it deals damage to them. Yes, you get coins in the process of this, but they don't actually physically turn into coins. You can see them dying the same way they would if they got hit by a normal fireball. And even if you did say this would be an insta-kill on Sonic for some reason, Sonic has a similar power-up that he doesn't lose from taking damage. In Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic gets the Magic Gloves, which allows him to destroy enemies, turning them into these small statues that he can just pitch out of existence. So at the very least, both these two power-ups would cancel each other out. But in reality, Sonic's power-up would have the advantage, because not only does he keep it after taking damage, but the attack from this power-up is instantaneous once he gets close enough, while Mario's is a projectile that Sonic can easily dodge. Not to mention that this is a power-up that Mario barely has access to anyways. I do believe that the rest of the power-ups that these two possess cancel each other out, or at the very least are power-ups that are completely useless, since they basically have access to these power-ups without actually having the power-ups. Another thing I wanted to touch upon was the rings, something that Sonic wasn't given in his analysis basically at all, despite being a major part in the Sonic series. I mean, you could argue that they give him extra defense, but if you wanted to be more realistic, then you could say that he uses them as an attack. In Sonic Battle, he throws a ring, and then later on can dash to it, delivering a powerful blow. He even technically does this in Sonic Adventure 2. When you use the ring dash and the enemy is along the line of rings, he will destroy the enemy. So I feel like they should have been used in that manner at the very least. Or you can go with Sonic X's take on them, and make them a power-up that makes Sonic extra strong. Either way, rings should have been in the analysis, especially for Supersonic, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So now let's get to the topic that really decides the winner: strength, speed, and durability. It really seemed like they didn't try too hard to figure out any of these for Sonic. For his durability, they basically gave him the exact same durability they gave to Metal Sonic like 3 seasons ago, as if they didn't have anything else to explore for Sonic, or Sonic didn't have any other feats out of all of his history that they could look at. But there is. But before I get to that, I just want to talk about Mario's durability. The one they gave him from the tennis court is not his durability. That just shouldn't count. A lot of people who debunk this say it shouldn't count because it's a spin-off series, but that's not why I'm not counting it. I'm not counting it because Mario was never intended to get hit by this. Like, yeah, the explosion does expand all the way out, but it seemed more like it was just for special effects. Sounds like I'm trying to do a cop-out for his durability, but I'm really not. If you investigate this scene properly, you'll see that it makes 0 sense to give Mario this type of durability based on this explosion. For one, he didn't get hurt, but people who have stronger durability than him did. Bowser and Wario are always seen as tougher opponents than Mario. And yet Mario didn't get hurt by the explosion, but these guys basically got passed out from it. How would that make any sense? Not to mention that Luigi didn't get hurt by it either. And not only did Luigi not get hurt, but the stadium they're standing on didn't get damaged at all. Not even a little. Not a scratch on it. Only Bowser, Wario, and Waluigi got hurt from this. This leads me to believe that the explosion seen here is just exaggerated. Especially since any other time Mario gets hit by an explosion, he's always covered in soot. But in this explosion, no. Bowser, Wario, and Waluigi are, but Mario isn't, and nothing else is. So that just leads me to believe that this literally does not count as his durability. Crazy enough, in a more recent death battle, when they are analyzing Sonic, they discredited one of his durability feats for basically the same reason. And that being Sonic surviving this black hole blasting him hundreds of light years away from his current position. They said Sonic didn't actually survive a force like this because there's some snow on his foot. So their conclusion to that, Sonic didn't actually get hit by this, he just teleported in the last seconds of the black hole. And also argued this point by saying Sonic got taken out by lesser forces before, even though they're supposed to be analyzing the maximum force they take. Because if that's the case, Mario definitely shouldn't be getting this durability feat because he's definitely been taken out by lesser things before. Like, I don't know, a regular bomb blowing up in his face. And just to prove that I'm not trying to underplay Mario's durability, here's a scene in Sonic X where something like this happens. Sonic takes down Eggman's base, and he blows it up, and the explosion covers the entire island. And yet, you can see Topaz here, a normal human, being able to survive the explosion. Obviously, this explosion was exaggerated, or else Topaz would have superhuman durability, even though she's supposed to be a normal human. I suppose you could say Knuckles protected her during this explosion, but she wasn't even covered all the way, so that would make very, very little sense. Not only that, but in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, he also survives an explosion that sets the entire forest of Angel Island on fire, and Sonic is unfazed. So he would also scale to Mario's durability that way. And Knuckles throws this explosion that blows up this whole tower, and Sonic is unfazed. So he could also scale to Mario's durability that way. And even more evidently, in Sonic X, when Eggman hits him with a nuclear bomb, Sonic is unfazed. So even if you think Mario should get this durability, Sonic's durability would equal to Mario's anyway. In fact, Sonic would surpass Mario's. Because in this same episode, Sonic gets hit with an even stronger force that's able to destroy these robots that survived the nuclear explosion. So that would actually put Sonic's durability above Mario's. Especially since Eggman's machine was powered by 6 Chaos Emeralds during this hit. So that means that he would at least have 6 times the power of the nuclear explosion that he previously used on Sonic. So that means Sonic's durability is somewhere around 6 times greater than Mario's. And I keep specifically saying Mario's durability because the durability they gave for the explosion in the tennis court doesn't seem to match what an actual explosion like that would represent. Because Death Battle said this explosion would equate to over 2.4 megatons, but the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima, that covered a larger distance than the tennis court, only equated to about 500 kilotons of TNT. So I don't understand how they got 2.4 megatons from this, but either way, the explosions I just mentioned that Sonic survived covered around the same distance as the explosion in the tennis court, if not more. And like I said, Sonic survived a punch from the machine that made an explosion like this, and that was before it was powered by the 6 Chaos Emeralds. And as I just previously stated, this is an increase of about 6 times the power. And this is extremely underestimated. By my calculations, something that uses 2 Chaos Emeralds could potentially get 9 times the power. Although another thing they tried to do was compare Mario's durability to Wario's. The specific feat they used for Wario is questionable to me, but I'll get into that later. Right now, I'm going over the feats that they gave to each character to argue their point. But basically, in conclusion, Sonic's durability trumps Mario's. And as for the strength, Sonic's strength actually trumps Mario's too. For Mario's maximum strength, he was able to kick this castle, which they calculated to be 3.4 megatons of TNT. And I don't really have anything to argue against this, but I do have something to argue for Sonic's strength. Sonic's maximum strength was the same as his durability, about 200 kilotons of TNT. And this was also from the battle with Metal Sonic that they calculated about 2 seasons ago. Once again, supposedly not finding any greater strength feat from Sonic. I forgot to mention that in this scene right here, Sonic and Metal Sonic might have actually unleashed a stronger force than the death battle said, because they measured how strong the force would take to break this giant rock right here or move it or however they calculated it. But if you look at the explosion right here, it is way larger than this piece of land that they measured, which is way larger than the city. So by that logic, it should be stronger than the force they calculated in the stadium, which is pretty close to Mario's maximum strength of 3.4 megatons. Sonic can also destroy some of Eggman's battleships in one go, and those can be larger than sections of whole cities. Specifically in this one scene in Sonic X, he does something like this. Eggman has shown that he can make robots and machines that can survive nuclear explosions anyways. So the fact that Sonic can smash through these with ease just means that Sonic's strength should definitely equate to a nuclear bomb. But the maximum force death battle said Sonic could output already equated to a nuclear bomb. So these feats don't really mean that much, aside from the fact that the ones I provided he did with ease, and the one he did with Metal Sonic seemed to be his maximum strength. This was supposed to be early on in his life though, considering the fact that Metal Sonic had just been created, and in the games, Metal Sonic was created in Sonic CD, which is basically the 4th game. But none of these feats are Sonic's maximum strength. To determine that, you're going to have to look at his speed. So for Mario's speed, they said he could react faster than lightning based on Mario Odyssey and him being able to travel through the wires. I don't really agree with their way of analyzing this, but that wasn't his maximum speed. His maximum speed was piloting the Star Diver, which I really don't get how they analyzed this. Supposedly, piloting the Star Diver means Mario can react to 415 times the speed of sound. But I really can't figure out how they did this. My only assumption is that they saw Luigi jump into space and then threw it back to planet Earth within 5 seconds. The problem with this is the dream world, so there's no real way to determine how high Luigi is in the sky. Even if there were, during this part of Mario traveling from space to Earth, he doesn't have to dodge anything. So there's no reason to say that he's reacting to anything. Yeah, he can move the Star Diver, but he's not in any danger while maneuvering this. Similarly, while Mario's in the power lines of Mario Odyssey, he also doesn't have to react to anything quickly. And anytime he has to change paths, he's given time to stop and choose his decision. Not only that, but he only has a few paths he can go anyway. But once again, even if you do give Mario these maximum speeds, Sonic is faster by a long shot. So basically for Sonic's portion of the video, Death Battle slowly analyzed how fast Sonic could actually go. They started with the hypersonic speed, saying he can go about 7,000 miles per hour, and then slowly added more and more feats to make him progressively faster. They maxed out his speed at 200 million miles per hour, since he was able to outrun this black hole in Sonic Colors for a short amount of time. Despite giving him this maximum speed, in the end analysis they only said he could react to lightning as his fastest speed. You know, around like Mach 278 or something like that. And that put Mario on top because of him piloting the Star Diver. What? Why would this? I don't understand this. Why would you give him this max speed right here and then just not count it? Is it because you want certain that this was a black hole? I don't know why you wouldn't count it as a black hole. I get that sometimes they have to look deeper into certain things to make sure that they're analyzing a feat correctly. A similar time to this was in Naruto vs. Ichigo, where they said Ichigo's black hole couldn't count as a black hole because it had no properties to a black hole, and Ichigo got hurt by an attack that would equate less to a black hole. But why wouldn't you count this for Sonic? He's clearly getting sucked in as something a black hole would do, and as it absorbs stuff, it is expanding like a black hole would. And one of the powers from the wisp that Sonic gets is creating a black hole. So why would this not be a black hole? I know they said something about the black hole not sucking in the Earth, but it sucked in this entire space station, and supposedly didn't start sucking up the Earth because the wisp had already stopped it from expanding by that point. So why would this not count of all feats? It was bad enough that they discluded Omega's calculation. I repeat, calculation of Sonic supposedly being able to go 130% the speed of light. But when it came to other descriptions, such as the hypersonic speed, and even a description from Smash Bros. Brawl, which isn't a canon Sonic game by the way, they just accepted those as facts. But when it came to an actual calculation from an in-game character, this supposedly didn't count. And the thing about this is, this came from the same game where Sonic was outrunning the black hole. So why would two pieces of evidence of Sonic going near the speed of light not count? Two pieces of evidence. Two. Not just one, but two. One of them where you can clearly see he's doing a feat close to this. And another one where he was calculated able to do as such. Why would these not count? I don't understand this. Not only that, but the normal feat they did give him was reacting to lightning. That was it. That was it. That's as fast as Sonic can go. Lightning speed. He can react to lightning. I find this funny because literally every character from this point forward, and obviously some previously, were given lightning feats to react to, and most of them were given light speed reactions. So take this into consideration. Sonic, the fastest thing alive, known for his speed, is slower than Mario, Kirby, Link, Donkey Kong, basically any other Nintendo character, basically any anime character, the Ninja Turtles, the Power Rangers, some normal humans, and basically, you know what? He's basically just one of the slowest contenders ever to enter Death Battle. According to their analysis anyways. That's just ridiculous. Like, they count everyone else's one-time feats of something that they obviously shouldn't be granted. And yet, when Sonic has 2 times of proving himself, 2 times of going this speed, he's not granted it. And by the way, I'm only counting running speed. Running speed, Sonic was calculated first. Reaction speed? I don't know. Dodging bullets, dodging lightning, yeah. How about dodging lasers? Yeah, Sonic has dodged lasers before. Why was this not taken into consideration? Even if you can say he didn't run anywhere near the speed of light for some reason, how could you say he can't react to the speed of light? He has literally dodged lasers since the very beginning of his series, basically. And an episode of Sonic X is the biggest proof of this, because these lasers are reflecting off of mirrors. So yeah, they're definitely lasers. And Sonic dodges them within like 1 meter of him. And as you can clearly see, the lasers shoot first, and Sonic moves afterwards. Unlike characters who react before the lasers are actually shot, making it seem like they're dodging lasers, Sonic actually reacted after. And in the games, you can stand there, wait for the lasers to shoot, and dodge afterwards. It's not hard for Sonic to dodge lasers. So Sonic can quite literally react at the speed of light. This puts him many times faster than Mario. Even if Sonic dodging lasers, Sonic running near the speed of light isn't enough for you. If for some reason you don't think that these are proof enough, he has power-ups that can allow him to go this speed. The light speed dash and the light speed attack, which quite literally lets him attack at the speed of light. Again, another description in the game that they didn't take into consideration. But let me tell you this again. they took a Brawl description. A description for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, not an actual Sonic game. They took this as fact. But when it comes to a game saying that Sonic can attack at light speed with these attacks, it somehow doesn't count. It's not taken into consideration. I mean, I think it was actually, but they just wrote it off because supposedly it takes too long and wouldn't be useful in the battle. At least that's what one of the descriptions said, basically. They said that this attack takes time to charge up. And by that logic, I guess they assumed that this wouldn't be useful to fight against Mario. But it actually would be, because this power-up allows Sonic to not only damage opponents while he's charging up, but it's also a homing attack and keeps attacking until the target is hit, unless Sonic cancels it himself, and it can activate from a pretty decent distance away. So there's no reason why Sonic wouldn't be able to use this, especially since the time it takes is only 2 seconds, and Sonic can clear that distance from Mario pretty easily. Sonic can really do one boost away, charge up his attack, come back to the battle, and then use it on him and destroy Mario. And you know what I said about Sonic's maximum strength being from his speed? Yeah. You know what this maximum strength is? Let's just put it at 10 megatons of TNT. This is underselling it by a whole lot. But I'm just assuming I did my calculations wrong. Because there's no way I found that Sonic is thousands of times stronger than Mario, and Death Battle didn't. There's no way. There's no way that they came to this conclusion and still let Mario win the Death Battle. There's no way. So I'm just putting at 10 megatons of TNT, which is stronger than Mario. With the light speed attack, his attack power should be 90 megatons of TNT. Way, way higher than Mario's. And again, I'm underestimating to the very extreme. There is no way Mario should be winning this Death Battle. Not a chance. It's not even close. So I proved that Sonic is not only faster, more durable, he's also stronger, and more likely has power-ups that are more useful than Mario's. I don't understand why they didn't use Sonic's maximum strength based off his speed. I mean, I guess because they didn't use his speed in the first place. But they should have thought of using this as a calculation for his strength, considering that Sonic quite literally uses his speed to attack opponents. And in other death battles, they calculate someone's speed as the maximum attack. A few times I remember a death battle using this as a calculation was in Twilight vs. Raven, and even Metal Sonic vs. Zero. Although in Metal Sonic vs. Zero, they didn't use Metal Overlord's mass with the calculation, which is something I already went over. But I find it crazy that they thought to use Raven's speed and mass to find out how much force she can use, but didn't do the same thing for Sonic, the person who's known for his speed, quite literally. So remember what I said about Mario scaling to Wario? Yeah, let's talk about that. Notice how in the death battle, Mario got compared to quite a few of the characters from his series, but Sonic was basically never compared to anyone at all. The only characters they compared Sonic to were the ones he fights as Supersonic. But the thing is, they discounted any comparison between these enemies because he either had help fighting them, or for the fact that he supposedly didn't have the same powers, even though most of the enemies he goes against use Chaos Emeralds. And since he gets his powers from Chaos Emeralds, I'm pretty sure he can compare to them in some way. Made even more ridiculous by the fact that they never stated something like this before. Any other time in any death battle that they compared two characters to each other, they never had to have the exact same abilities to be able to give them a reasonable feat to compare to. Or unreasonable for that matter. But for some reason when it comes to Sonic, they discount everything. Heck, even in some death battles when two characters, or three, or however many, help in a certain task, they just divide the force by the amount of people equally between each character. Like in Wonder Woman's death battle, when she was helping pull the Earth with Martian Manhunter and Superman, they just divided the mass of the Earth by 3 and said that she should be able to carry that much weight. And in Shazam's death battle, they divided the Big Bang by 1,000 because that's how many characters supposedly helped create the Big Bang. But when it comes to Supersonic, that all goes out the window. He can't compare to any of these characters in any way because he needs help to beat them and because he doesn't have their powers. So, because of that, he can't scale to them at all. What? Why all of a sudden for Sonic does this happen? But every other character gets to compare to someone else. But, so back to Mario and Wario. I will admit that since they're all related to each other, it does make sense to compare their abilities. But it's clearly obvious that Wario is supposed to be the more tougher between the two of them. So just saying that Mario directly scales to him doesn't really make much sense. Especially when the feat that they used is questionable for Wario to begin with. The reason why it's questionable is because after the explosion happens of the Shake King, the screen just cuts to the credits. You don't see what happens afterward. You don't see Wario flying off. You don't even know if he escaped. You don't know if he got badly injured. You don't know what happens. I also have a problem with getting the explosion's energy just because it was able to move clouds. Something that doesn't seem like it would take a great deal of force to do. I mean, yeah, you still definitely need force to do it, but compared to knocking over a building or a mountain or something, I feel like that would require a lot less energy. Even if you could give Wario this feat and the explosion was calculated correctly, it doesn't even matter because Sonic can scale to a character who can make an explosion similar to this, that being Shadow. When Shadow took out this entire fleet of ships, he also parted the clouds in the sky. I don't know exactly how far the explosion traveled, because when the screen pans out, the explosion still continues on. But I think it's safe to say, since there was basically no visible clouds in the later scene right after this, that means that this should be somewhat comparable. Meaning Mario wouldn't outclass Sonic in durability based off this feat anyways. Another person they compared Mario to is Donkey Kong. and this is what the funny part is. See, they compared Mario to Donkey Kong, and because of that, they said he was able to scale to Dark Gaia. Pretty funny, right? They were able to scale Donkey Kong to someone in Sonic's universe, but weren't able to scale Sonic to any other character in his own universe. That's pretty crazy. That's a really good one. And it's most ridiculous because the feat that they're comparing Donkey Kong to Dark Gaia to is when he punched the moon. Which we know isn't the same size as a real moon, and Dark Gaia destroyed a planet. How do those compare? Please tell me how punching a small moon, about the size of an iron, compares to destroying an entire planet? And the thing about this, Dark Gaia destroyed the entire Earth, even though he wasn't in his full form yet. But Donkey Kong had to use a full giant punch to knock the moon out of the sky. And we know Donkey Kong's a stronger character, so how would this even make Mario scale to Dark Gaia in any way? Dark Gaia is clearly stronger than Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is stronger than Mario. And Mario and Donkey Kong rarely ever face off. Especially in a fighting manner. Once again, they do play sports together, but this doesn't mean they scale to that degree. It means they scale on a basic level so it can do Donkey Kong's normal basic feats, but that doesn't mean it scales to Donkey Kong's strongest feat that required most of, if not all of his energy to do. And like I said, they don't even try to really scale Sonic to anyone in the series. If you actually scale Sonic to the enemies and bosses that he beats, like you would do Mario to his characters, then you would see that Sonic still beats Mario. In Sonic Colors, he's able to take on the Nega Wisp armor without any Chaos Emeralds. Why is this impressive? Well, the Mother Wisp is able to create a planet with her own energy. If she was creating a planet as small as Pluto, then she would be using a force of 5.8 teratons of TNT. And Pluto is considered a dwarf planet. So if she was making an actual planet, then she would likely be using more energy. Why does this matter? Well, the Nega Wisp armor obviously uses Wisp energy, and a lot of it. There was multiple Wisps powering this battleship. And even if we assume that all these Wisps was only 0.1% of the Mother Wisp's energy, then that means Sonic was still able to compete with the machine that can dish out an energy of 5.8 gigatons of TNT, which is stronger than comparing Mario to Donkey Kong. And in Sonic Lost World, he was able to fight one of Eggman's ships that absorbed all the world's energy. I was able to find out how much energy this was based on someone else's video who was trying to find out how much energy a Spirit Bomb would have. And the energy that this ship would be able to get from absorbing all the world's energy would be 4 teratons of TNT. And that's not including any energy that the ship may have absorbed from Sonic's friends. Because we know Sonic has some powerful friends, and they were seen to be passing out from the energy being drained. So it's likely that the ship absorbed their energy too. So yeah, if you compare Sonic to his rivals and bosses and characters, like you compare Mario to his rivals, bosses, and characters, then you'll see that Sonic still comes out on top. Realize this is all without including Supersonic. And that's for 2 reasons. 1, I wanted to prove that Sonic could indeed beat Mario without Supersonic. And 2, because Mario supposedly has a perfect counter for Supersonic. That being any of his power-ups that have invincibility. I already talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but some of Mario's invincibility power-ups are power-ups he can't even carry with him, and some of them he can't even obtain under normal circumstances. Things like the Metal Cap, the Rainbow Star, the Super Invincibility Leaf, all things he realistically wouldn't have in battle, but it seemed like Death Battle counted them in the end analysis anyways. And besides, the star is the only invincibility power-up that Mario can carry multiple versions of. So it's the only one I'm going to be arguing against Supersonic. So even if Supersonic can't hurt Mario in the star, Sonic still gets additional boost while in Supersonic, and Mario doesn't really seem to get anything except for a minor bonus in speed. But in general, the Chaos Emeralds grant more abilities than the star does, so it technically should trump the star. But even if we're only looking at the invincibility of these power-ups, the Chaos Emeralds should still win because they have a longer duration. The star generally lasts 15 to 20 seconds, while Supersonic lasts over 50 seconds. Unless you're specifically giving him the in-game timer, Sonic can stay in his super form as long as he has rings, which, like I said in the beginning, he should have rings factored into this battle. It doesn't make any sense to use the in-game timer if rings are not a factor in this fight. Especially if you're saying Mario has the max amount of power-ups that he's able to hold. Sonic should be allowed to have the maximum rings he's able to hold in order to maintain his super form. Even if they were just trying to imply that Sonic's rings only exist in his world and they're in a battlefield that's neutral, Sonic would still have access to rings since he's able to go between different dimensions. This means if he's running low on his super form, he should be able to go to his world and collect a few rings and come back. Other characters who have access to different worlds and can teleport there whenever they want are allowed to do so in the battle, so it wouldn't make any sense for Sonic not be able to do this when he clearly has a power that would allow him to do that. For instance, Scorpion was able to just transport Ryu to hell whenever he wanted to. Darkseid was able to bring Thanos into his world, and Flash is able to bring characters into the Speed Force. So therefore, it would make sense that Sonic should be allowed access to his world using chaos control if you wanted to argue that he needs rings and wouldn't just bring them into battle, which would be something he would do anyways. And again, this is based on the in-game time limit, but if we're not using the in-game time limit, then he should be able to last in Supersonic until he gets it beat out of him, because any other time he loses Supersonic, it seems like a voluntary decision on his behalf, because he doesn't need the power at the moment. Okay, so now that all of that is said, let's recap one last time of why Sonic would never lose to Mario in a battle. First reason, the power-ups. Mario has an enormous quantity of power-ups, but they lack in quality, variety, and uniqueness between all of them. Not to mention that some of them don't really grant him much of a bonus anyways. Not to mention there's a bunch of power-ups that he can't carry with him or wouldn't reasonably have access to, or can only carry one of anyways. While Sonic's power-ups are always with him, because they're more like equipment. They don't have a limited number of uses, and some of them completely negate Mario's power-ups while still giving him benefits. Number 2. Sonic's durability is equal to, if not greater than, Mario's. Number 2. Sonic's speed is way faster than Mario's. And even if you do upscale Mario's speed because he's able to outmaneuver Bowser, Sonic would still have the edge in speed. Number 3. Sonic's way more powerful than Mario. He's able to unleash a force of 10 megatons easily. And with the light speed attack, he's able to unleash 90 megatons. While Mario can only unleash a force of 3.4 megatons. This means that Sonic is over 2 times stronger than Mario. Number 4. Supersonic. Even if Supersonic is able to be counted out by Mario's invincibility power-ups, Supersonic should still be able to outlast them, considering the fact he either should be allowed to have rings, or because he's realistically able to be in Supersonic a lot longer than 50 seconds, which is only given to him as an in-game timer. Number 5. He has way better characters and feats to scale to. Something I don't want to resort to, but if we have to scale these characters to get their abilities at maximum potential, Sonic still comes out on top. So that basically wraps it up for this video. Again, I really disagree with this a lot. I don't see how they would have missed such obvious details, especially the speed ones. Like, Sonic literally dodges lasers every game basically, and they somehow didn't get that. My only thought behind this is that they just wanted to prove that their research was different from way back in the first season. I mean, if they had let Sonic win again, people probably wouldn't think that their research was any different because they got the same outcome. But either way, this Death Battle's results was just wrong.